सभी को नमस्ते. वेलकम टू द यूट्यूब चैनल ऑफ RSV Group of School. Myself Vijay Singh. Today we will see the topic carbon and its compounds. So as the name of the chapter depicts, in this chapter we will see the compounds which are formed from the carbon. Now the question arises, why it is necessary to study the compounds which are formed from the carbon specifically in a chapter in your book. So the question is, how carbon is different from other elements? Why we need to study the carbon and its compounds differently, specifically in a chapter? So the answer is here, it can form almost infinite number of compounds. Yes, it can form almost infinite number of compounds. We all are surrounded by carbon and its compounds. The food we eat, the fuel which we use for the transportation, petrol, diesel, all contain carbon compounds. The air we exhale contains carbon dioxide. So all these compounds, because they contain carbon, that's why it is necessary to study the chapter that is carbon and its compound. Before going further, first we will see some details about carbon which you have studied in the earlier classes. So as you know, carbon is an element whose atomic number is 6 and its symbol is C. That you have studied in the earlier classes. Atomic number is 6. Why is atomic number is 6? Because it have 6 protons in it. It have 6 protons, and in an atom, number of protons are always equal to number of electrons. That means carbon have 6 protons present in the atom and 6 electrons are present in it, as you can see it from this structure. Along with this, what is the mass number of the carbon? Mass number is always equal to number of proton plus number of neutrons. It is, I again repeat, it is equal to number of protons and number of neutrons in it. As you have studied in the earlier classes, you have seen the basic structure of atom. The atomic structure of carbon is shown here. This is the nucleus which is present in between the atom. In this nucleus there is protons and neutrons present in the nucleus, which is the center part of the atom. In the carbon, as 6 protons are there and 6 neutrons are there, as you can see from here, they are present in the center, and it has 6 electrons which revolve around this center. These electrons do not revolve in any way. They revolve in discrete pattern. As you have studied the atomic model given by the Bohr, Niels Bohr. He have given the atomic model like this, in which electrons revolve in discrete orbits. These discrete orbits are named by the Niels Bohr as K, L, M and N. Further, in the first orbit, 2 electrons can be filled at maximum. As you can see, these dot represents the 2 electrons in the first shell, that is K, and 4 electrons can remain at maximum. 8 electrons can be reside in the second shell. Now, how many electrons carbon have? Carbon have in total 6 electrons. In the first shell, 2 electrons are there. That is represented here. That is shown here. And in the second shell, there are 4 electrons, as you can see. Okay. So, it have 4 electrons in the outermost shell. So, the valence electron. What is the meaning of valence electron? Valence electron means the number of electron present in the outermost shell of an atom is known as valence electron. I repeat myself. Valency is not the valence electron. Valency and valence electron are two different things. Valence electrons are the electrons present in the outermost shell. Since 4 electrons are present in the outermost shell, it requires 4 more electrons to complete its shell. That's why its valency is 4. It can be written as tetravalency. It is very important, students. Note it down. It is tetravalency because tetra means 4. Tetra means 4 and it has valency, 4 valency. That's why it is tetravalency. Now we will see any atom if it wants to become stable, the outermost shell of the atom should be filled with the electrons. If any atom wants to be stable, its outermost shell be completely filled with the electrons. So carbon have 4 electrons in the outermost shell. Now what the carbon can do to complete its outermost shell? It have 3 options. It can lose the outermost 4 electron. If it will lose, then the K shell becomes the outermost shell and it is filled with the electrons. First option. Second option, it can gain 4 electrons and its outermost shell then have 8 electrons, and it can also be done, but it can also share the 4 electrons. Let's see which option is occupied by the carbon. As you know, students, losing of electron takes so much of energy. If an atom have to lose the electron, it takes huge amount of energy. Suppose this atom loses this electron, it will take 1 electron is lost, then it will take lots of energy. If it will lose the other electron, then it will take more amount of energy, double the energy is required to lose the 2 electrons. So for the small atom like carbon, it is quite impossible to have so much energy and lose the 4 electron. For the small atom like carbon, it has become impossible to have so much energy to lose the 4 electrons. That's why this option is not carried by the carbon. The second option is to gain the 4 electron. Now see, if the carbon will gain the 4 electrons, the total electron will become 10. Total electron will become 10 and the number of protons is 6. Number of proton is 6. So for the 6 protons to hold the 10 electrons properly in the atom, it is not stable. If it will do like this, it will become quite unstable, and this option is also not occupied by the carbon. So how the carbon complete its octet? Yes, students, it shared the 4 electrons from the other atoms. This option is occupied by the carbon. Carbon shared the 4 electrons from other atoms to complete its octet, and the atom and the bond which is formed by the sharing of the electron. I repeat, the bond which is formed by the sharing of the electron between the atoms, that bond is known as covalent bond. Okay, how the covalent bond will form, that we will see in the next video. Thank you.